Welcome to the carnage.
And welcome back to the Carnage. Today we got a question that seems to be asked a lot lately. And the question is, why do men no longer date? Where have all the men gone? Why are men opting out of, the traditional, chasing women role that their fathers and grandfathers and great grandfathers, employed? And it's funny because the end of the day, it is the same, answer that we keep giving them is accountability. In one breath, you have feminist women saying, I don't need a man. I hate men. Men are all garbage. Men are all trash. I wish men would just disappear. And then that same very night, they go out and start crying because they can't find a man. You can't make this shit up, right? So, with that being said, I put together some of these videos that kind of touch base on that a little bit. And I find it interesting that these videos are continuously being made, and you've seen it quite a bit, right? 2022, 2023, so on and so forth. We're now on the cusp of 2026, and these videos are still being made. Like, why do men not want to date women anymore? And we make these videos, and I swear to God, they watch these, and what they do is instantly, like, thumbs down these videos. It's not just me. It's any man in this creation space, right? Any man who makes these types of videos, they get a lot of those, male hating feminists that just downvote their video, thumbs down. But instead of doing that, maybe ladies, you want to watch these videos because we're explaining to you in great detail why men are no longer dating, why you can't find a man, and why you're probably not going to find one anytime soon. So let's go ahead and jump right into it.
63% of men under 30 are single, and more than half of them aren't even trying to date. Why do you think that is? What do you think the root cause of that is?
And I feel like a lot of younger men that are single, that aren't even trying, they don't want to dedicate the time. They want to build their business. They want to make it to the gym. They want to travel. They want to do it. And you know what? Finding a real relationship is work. It's not that they can't get dates. It's that they can't get the right ones.
No. That's maybe a small part of it. The truth is risk versus reward, right? At the end of the day, is what is the reward for me if I put in all of this time and effort into this woman, and what is the risk if I do it? And men are very logical creatures, right? We're not emotional like women. We don't think in that emotional space. Everything to a man is delegated to a plan, right? And we all, as men, have plans, right? At least most of us do. And in that plan, we account for certain things, right? Like expenses, budgeting, where we want to be, our time, etc. And when we think of women as a whole and adding that woman to a plan, we do assess whether this relationship's going to be good for us, right? Risk versus reward. And 9 times out of 10, with the way that, divorce court is set up, it is just entirely too much risk for a man to take.
Excuses guys make not to date you in 2025. I just got out of a relationship like 3 years ago and I'm still healing, and I wouldn't want to put that on you.
I'm just so busy, like during the day I just don't have time for a girlfriend, but if you ever want to meet up past 11 p.m., I'm down.
My mom's getting older. She's like 55. Like, I want to enjoy this time that I have with her while she's still here. But maybe another time.
I mean, financially, I can't be dating anyone. Like, I have a new Xbox to buy. It's bulking season soon. Gonna be buying some extra protein shakes.
If it was like 3 years from now, when I had my life together and everything, then I would want to date you.
You're everything I should want. I just don't want to hold you back.
We're just so young, and there's so many beautiful, angelic fish in the sea. I feel like I'm a blobfish, and you're like a beautiful Dory from Finding Nemo,
The timing's just off. Fantasy football season's coming up. I gotta invest. I gotta be with the boys.
I know I already treat you like you're my girlfriend, like you met my whole family. They love you so much. I get you flowers every day. I take you on dates. But I still am not ready to date. Like, that's too much.
I just know I would mess it up.
Yeah, so that's all satire, right? I don't know any men that use those excuses, especially not the fantasy football thing. I swear to God, this shit exists only in women's head. And let's say hypothetically, men are using those excuses to not want to date you. Those excuses are not exactly what you think they are, ladies. They're blowing you off because they obviously don't want a relationship with you. They saw whatever red flags. Doesn't mean that they're going to, tell you to kick rocks. I mean, they obviously, if you're giving up the fish taco, then they're going to hang around, right? And that's a lot of reason why women go wrong. You give that up pretty early on, and then men are like, okay, well, I got product, pretty much the reward I'm going to get for all my hard work already. So I'm at this place where I don't need to extend, past that, unless they really, really like you and you're one of those women that just like change their life for the better immediately, which hardly ever happens. And then probably, yes, the man would be like, okay, I see a future with you. We'll go down that road.
Look at this article I found today. The dangerous rise of men who won't date woke women. Pathetic. I know you probably can't tell, but I'm quite woke and very alert to social injustice. Woke discrimination in dating should not be tolerated. Also, who wouldn't want this? I mean, look at these bangs. They're perfect. Come to think of it, I've been single for the past 10 years, ever since I started free bleeding in women's marches. But what kind of man doesn't love that level of confidence? I don't even have that many dating requirements. I mean, he has to be a vegan, obviously, and he must have his pronouns in his bio. He must provide proof of vaccination and all his boosters, and he must wear an N95 mask or equivalent during sex, but forget about condoms because that's what abortion healthcare is for. He needs to be okay with the fact that I don't shave any body hair, but he has to be perfectly manscaped with the body of Chris Hemsworth. He also must be okay with the fact that I wear natural deodorant. It doesn't really work, but at least I don't have aluminum seeping into my skin. And last but not least, he must not like video games or sports. So I don't really know what the problem is. I'm a total catch. Did you ever think that maybe it's your attitude? Or maybe it's your irrational list of standards? What do you mean attitude? Also, I don't have to lower my standards for any man or anyone.
As you can tell, it was satire. She makes a lot of these videos, which I actually find humorous because she gets a lot of hate, and I find it funny because she obviously hits a nerve with these people, and she's spot on. I mean, dating women, specifically woke women or feminism, any woman in that woke space, they're just entirely too much to deal with. Well, they don't obviously realize it because they, keep down the same path, spouting out fucking words like toxic masculinity and fucking misogyny. And they don't even understand or know what those words mean. They heard it on TikTok and, they saw some blue hair with a septum ring, tell them fight the power, and they all decided to join in. So, no, the fact that she makes those videos cracks me up, and I do feel bad for a lot of the comments that she gets.
Girlies in their late 20s, early 30s. Where are we finding men?
Unfortunately, they are working overtime instead of going out and dating because they feel they will never be attractive enough or wealthy enough for a girl ever again. They would rather check their weather app than chat with another person on Hinge. If they're not at work, they're usually at home, the gym, playing video games with friends, or fighting for democracy. You're welcome.
If you're making $50,000, don't date. I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date.
Again, I'm with you.
You're not ready to date. You're not ready to date because courtship costs.
Okay.
Everything costs. Okay. You can go for 22 walks in the park. Eventually, shorty is gonna need a sip of something. She gonna be thirsty. This bottle of water is $3 in Atlanta. Let's not play. So if you don't have any expendable cash, don't date. And whatever that looks like for you, you might only make 50,000, but you live in a shoe, and now you got expendable cash. Or get you a bottom of the barrel bitch that's gonna date you when you have no money. If she doesn't have the expectation, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, enjoy it while it lasts, because eventually you're gonna wanna run. Because she doesn't stretch you, she doesn't make you the man that you need to become. She allows you to be this stagnant dude in the same jeans for days. You know what I'm saying?
Be cutting up.
I'm
You
just
talk about
saying.
me.
But yeah, so at the end, Tico was kind of going off a little bit. But again, the first video we saw, it's like, oh, where are all the guys at? You know, where are the guys dating?
I think these two women need to have a conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. These two women do need to have a conversation because, no, that's not why men aren't dating. And telling men that, unless you're rich, and you're like 6'3" and you're hung like a fucking elephant and you have all of this material, wealth and this, that, and the other, don't date. But in the same breath, she's saying that, don't date a woman who's just going to love you for who you are and that she's not going to push you to be this, fucking millionaire down the road, which they completely contradict each other. So that's just, typical feminism today. They make no fucking sense.
Aren't the problem. Women's lack of accountability is, and that's why men are checking out of dating and nobody wants to say it. Women love to complain about men, how men don't want to commit, don't want to date, don't want to put in effort, don't want to do this and that, but rarely do women stop to ask what role they play in the problem. And trust me, girl, I used to be the same way until I realized what was really going on. The truth is, men are tired of being told they're never enough. They're tired of being called toxic for being masculine, tired of being shamed for wanting to lead, and tired of being treated like they're disposable. Why would a man want to date when he's constantly told he's the problem? When every mistake is weaponized against him and every effort is met with criticism or indifference. Add in the fact that so many women are competing with men instead of complimenting them, and it's no wonder men are choosing peace over partnership. Men want to feel respected, needed, and appreciated. When they don't get that, they check out, and honestly, I can't blame them. If you want a man who actually wants to show up for you, maybe start by showing him some respect. Otherwise, don't be surprised when he chooses himself over a relationship.
Yeah, like 100% right. Exactly. Men, we are how we are, and most men typically know within the first 5 minutes of speaking to a woman if she fits in one of two categories. And all men have two categories. One category is, this chick's awesome, I like her a lot, I can maybe see something going forward. Or you're in category B, which is, we just want to plow you. And all we see you for and as is sex. Because, you put yourself out there that way, right? You're like wearing a fucking mini skirt and fishnets and all of these things. And you say you don't dress for men, right? That you're doing it because you want to feel sexy, and that's fine. But you're giving a man at that point basically the illusion of this is who you are as a person. And so that's what they're going to pursue. But again, yes, men are checking out. They're not dating anymore. A lot of men are preferring not to. And, they call it this male loneliness epidemic, and it's not. It's really not. There's way more videos of women asking where men are and how to meet men and why are men not, coming up to them in droves, asking them for their phone number. But you're not seeing that on the other side. You're not seeing men make these videos like, yeah, how do I meet a woman, or where would I go, or anything. So there you go. That's a big portion of it. And I'm assuming at least that more of these videos are going to continuously be made. There is a new study. The results haven't came out yet, and I'm actually really interested in seeing. It was a study, men only, between the ages of 20 and 45, and it was like 5,000 or 6,000 men that they sat down and asked them a slew of different questions, and it's supposed to be like the latest modern study. So I'm waiting for that. I'm not sure when the results will be out, but when it does, I'll make a video on it. But until then, you guys keep it real, and I appreciate all of you. See you on the next video.